And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Already 6:31. How are you today? It is Wednesday as we head toward the 4th of July. We've got a great day in store for sunshine. Believe it or not, no mention of rain. We'll hit 91 with sunshine throughout the afternoon. That feels good. Maybe the yards will dry out. You'll be able to pull off your driveway. Those yards, boy, that grass has been growing, hasn't it? The weekend is coming quickly as we head toward that. We're going to have a big show today. I hope you'll join us. We'll tell you all about the festivities that went on in Meridian yesterday. Boy, was it a lot. Some things you don't know yet. We'll unveil all of that beginning at 7 o'clock this morning to fill you in what went on behind the scenes in Meridian. It's a humdinger. Join us at 7 o'clock for all of those. Let's go to Collinsville now. I may have to adjust this. I'm not sure I'll put it in the right episode. We may have to adjust it on the fly here as we go to Collinsville to First Baptist.
One thing that my oldest son loves to do is go fishing. You know, from an early age, he's been pretty consistent in loving the outdoors, and he just likes to go try to catch.
Hey, life is full of choices, but none more important than this. Will you follow Christ to blessing or follow your flesh to destruction? Now in Philippians 3, Paul draws a stark contrast. He urges us to follow his example and others who walk faithfully because many live as enemies of the cross of Christ. Hey, their end is destruction. Why? Well, because God's their appetite. They live to please their flesh. Their minds are set on earthly things, and they boast in what should bring them shame. This is a pathway that leads to everlasting destruction. But God calls us to a different path, one that may be narrow but leads to life. You see, it's the pathway of Christ. Following Christ means hoping completely in Him and surrendering to Him. It means dying to self and crucifying sinful desires. It means setting your heart on the things above and walking the way of the cross. It's not easy, but it's worth it. So every day you choose which road you're walking. One ends in regret and ruin, the other ends in glory. So don't be deceived by temporary pleasures. Fix your eyes on Jesus and follow Him. Walk with those who walk with Him like you're in heaven, like heaven's your home, because that's where Christ will take you. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Hope you enjoyed that, Brother Ben. They'll have services tonight if you're looking for a church to go to. They'll be open again on Sunday morning as well. Find a church near you. It's life-changing. See, Odie has found his watch. He's at work on time today.
Yeah, I made it.
There's truly, and we joked about that yesterday, there's truly nothing worse than oversleeping and realize it takes X amount of time to get somewhere and you just can't get there. I've forgotten that I needed to be certain places before. That happens quite a bit. I'm at that point in life to where, is the word led? I have to be told I've got to be somewhere. There's a lot goes on in my head. Good morning, Miss Ann. So good to see you there. Diane joins us along with Wesley and so many others. Thank y'all for making us part of your day. This goes back to parenting, I almost believe, as we go for our first headline that's shaping America as we go to Florida. You can't always get what you want. That's what keeps going through my head as I read this story. As a teenager, 18 years old, goes through the line of McDonald's and doesn't get what he wants. They accidentally messed up the order. Now, normal human beings would walk back in and say, hey, you forgot my fries. Not him. No, he made a threat, the largest threat that you could do there. Said that he was going to shoot up the place. He's been arrested and charged with a felony. What is the thinking behind this? Is it the home life? Is it video games? I'm not sure. But we certainly need to go somewhere. Teach a little responsibility. I'm thinking a garden might cure all that. Up at 6 a.m. hoeing. Teach you a little respect there. Oh my. But again, there is a problem across America. That's not the first time. It will not be the last time that somebody does that. Rioters yesterday, and I don't understand this. If you are against something, what gives you the right to interfere with other people? And what I mean by that is blocking a roadway. It's against the law. Here lies the problem. When they break the law, well, the law does nothing. They let them continue to do it, so they each time get a little worse and a little worse. They were protesting ICE yesterday, and they took over a bridge, 6th Street Bridge in downtown Los Angeles is what they did. Every one of them should have went to jail immediately, handcuffed, drugged from there. Make the fine stiff enough to where they'll never think about doing it again. But we are talking California, and it's okay to do what you want. Or it so appears to be. And this is something to think of. These guys that are out doing this for a living, officers. And as we go to the ICE law enforcement in particular to look at this, they are now facing a 700% increase in assaults against them. Do y'all realize how much that is? Just because of the badge that they wear, they're being attacked unprovoked a lot of times. The Department of Justice is also suing Los Angeles. You go, why? Because of their sanctuary city policy. Need I remind you it's against the law to do that? Again, not heavily enforced in California, IA. Gavin Newsom, and then we'll move on to a different type of headline as we look at this, has been using money, taxpayer money, for funding entrepreneurship for non-Americans. Let that sink in. Taxpayer money going to businesses that are not owned by American citizens. Okay. Somebody's got to pay the man, and they got to pay Trump. Paramount will have to pay Donald Trump $16 million over the lawsuit that dealt with Kamala, that interview. $16 million will go to him. I thought I'd share this picture. Who says things aren't getting better in life? As I went to Twitter this morning to find this. Egg prices plummeted. Waffle House has removed the 50 cent, or was it 25 cent? 50 cent surcharge. You can now eat your eggs without being charged extra. Found that entertaining. What else do we got here? Gulf of America hat. I hadn't seen. This is the first time I noticed this. I was doing something, and he was doing an interview to leave to go to Gator Traz. Is that how you say that? And I noticed the hat there. That's a new one. Gulf of America. Didn't say America. It was Gulf of America. So, thought you might want to see that. In court this week, we've heard about this. 23andMe. That's that genealogy site. They were going bankrupt, and it has been approved that they can sell it during their bankruptcy for $305 million. There was at first they was wanting them to sell them with the information that they had, but it's been approved, $305 million. The Eiffel Tower, my oh my, has gotten so hot they had to close it yesterday. Temperatures soared to about 104 there in Europe. Now, and let me say this, I don't mean this ugly. Think if you were in the U.S. of A. and you thought, I always wanted to go visit the Eiffel Tower on my vacation. You get a plane ticket and you travel halfway around the world. Somebody from Mississippi would probably think that. And you get there and they go, whoop, it's closed.
Because it's hot.
It's like, I'm from Mississippi. It's always hot. Let me go. That would be very disappointing. If you remember, that happened to what's his name in the Vacation series when he went to Wally World and it was closed down. They had to open it up themselves. It's kind of humorous, wasn't it? South Carolina, we don't know the details of what went wrong, but 2 deputies, one was injured, another was killed. The person who did it, his life was also taken at the scene. It was an ambush is all we're really getting at this point. It happened in a South Carolina home, I would assume, as they were trying to serve a warrant of some sort. A female has been taken into custody also. 1 deputy deceased, 1 injured. He looks to be recovering. And again, they're not telling all the details of why they were there just yet. Keep his family, as we move into the 4th, in your thoughts and prayers. You know, I almost kind of see this. You have to draw a line in the sand occasionally in this old world and go, if you cross this, we're going to do this. For folks that come to America who don't follow our laws and break the law continuously, they're looking at putting up a law that says we'll take away your citizenship. If you were let in, you break the law, it's bad, we'll throw you out and you will lose your citizenship to the U.S. of A. Not a bad idea. I could get used to that. What else do we have this morning? I've often said this, And those who are younger than me will probably one day understand what I mean by this. The older you get, you do get a little bit softer. There's certain subjects that you draw a line on, and it's a hard line. You don't budge on it. But as you get older, when it comes to pets and things of that nature, you get soft. I'm there. We had a lady that left 100 animals, cats, locked in a U-Haul van in the back with the door closed. She's been arrested. Cats didn't do anything to her. Now, I'm not a cat man. I don't have any, but they ain't hurt me. Why would you want to do that? I don't know what you get for that, what the law will do to you.
A room in the back of a U-Haul.
Yeah. It's mean. That's just downright mean. For something that cannot care for itself. That's where my heart goes to, of those who can't care for themselves. And you know, that falls along the elderly, pets and things of that nature that can't protect themselves. I get bent out of shape on that. For those who can to defend themselves, you do what you got to do. Here's another thing, America first. We've stopped shipments to Ukraine of certain missiles that we may need. America first. Don't give away what you have to protect yourself. Sure, Zelensky is not happy about that, but oh well. We often warn you about this. If you're out and about during a storm, especially if you're on the rural route, be careful. Trees fall. We have that. It has happened in Delaware. We don't hear from Delaware very often. A tree fell and killed someone in extreme weather. Hit their car. They have been pronounced deceased. It's sad. Really sad there. Israel has agreed to a 60-day ceasefire with Hamas. That's good. We are ready for wars to end. That would be a big one. Will he get the Nobel Peace Prize? I don't know. Isn't it about 3 people that have nominated him for that? A lot has gone into that. We wish him luck. If that can be straightened out, anything can be. Robberies, and I think this was Texas is where this happened. Imagine I think it may have been, it was a liquor store. You're closing up, you're getting ready to go home for the night. Most of the time, you either drop your money into a safe and leave. I'm not sure how much the store owner had as he locked up and walked outside. A guy walked up and pulled a gun and said, "Freeze, U.S. Marshals." He even had it across the front there, made the guy get on the ground, and, well, he was just a thief, posing as a law enforcement officer. That could be a new trend that is coming. Thieves watch these things across the USA and polish them. Y'all watch that. Because they'll slip up on you. You wouldn't think there's anything to it if you see a badge coming, especially on a bulletproof vest that reads Marshall. You wouldn't feel threatened until they got up on you. Took all his money. He was not hurt. Again, we touched on this a moment yesterday, but I thought I would still bring it back up. 20-year-old, Idaho, of that fire that broke loose. Maybe you missed the story as we talked about it yesterday. This kid at 20 wanted to be a firefighter. He took 2 firefighters' lives, started a fire, and ambushed them. Ended up, if I'm understanding this correctly, took his own life as law enforcement moved in. What is the biggest threat? Now, July 4th is coming, and as we all know, it's going to be millions of Americans that gather together to watch celebrations across it. Meridian will have theirs on July 4th night. I know that July 3rd, there's going to be several. Kemper County, we're going to have one in Clark County. There's going to be several that go on. Turkey Creek, I'm sure Jackson, Mississippi will have one also. But the biggest threat, they say, is the lone wolf. And what do we mean by that? That one guy, like the New Orleans thing, to where they drove the truck through the barricade and down the sidewalk, that's the biggest threat that they're saying there is for this July 4th. It's not a group, but that guy that may have, or lady that may have some mental issues. Be on your guard. Watch what you're doing at any festivities that you go to that have a large number of people. People like this want to bring as much harm as they can to as many people at one time as they can. Well, they're really, as we talked about a while ago, of making laws that make people, it grabs their attention. Tennessee. Now, one of the biggest things that's happened to teenagers in high school is being bullied. Well, guess what they're doing in Tennessee to curb this? You get caught bullying in Tennessee, they take away your driver's license privileges to teenagers. That's a step in the right direction. That'll get somebody's attention. That car is your way to freedom. I'm kind of support that. That's pretty strong there. Australia. I don't know how it got on there. They were getting ready to take off. You buckle your seat, you're taxiing out to the runway, and somebody yells, "Snake." I wouldn't want to take off with that slithering around. It took a couple of hours there. It was a delayed flight until they got off of it. Wasn't there a movie called Snakes on a Plane one time?
Yeah, I ain't watching.
Yeah, I'm with Greg. I can't handle that because I'll have a dream about it.
Got off.
We've all done the snake dance where you see a snake where you jump back and it takes your heart. A lot of us have had people plant fake snakes next to them. I saw that last week. Somebody had one.
That ain't funny.
Greg's right. It ain't funny. I don't like a snake. Most of us don't. And you don't do that in the South, these fake snake things, because, well, most everybody here is armed. Just warning you. I'm sure you've seen the pranks on Facebook before, or YouTube actually, to where they go throw a book bag and take off running. Yeah, you don't do that here. It comes with a price to pay, so to speak. We see that, where's this taking place? In New York today, we have an MS-13 gang leader that's going to be sentenced for murder, at least 8 murders. It goes back to 2016 when he ordered the death of a 16-year-old girl. Now, I'm sure it had something to do with criminal activity, but that's beside the fact. He took the life of 8 people. They're going to get him today. The problem is, will it be life in prison, or will they actually do what needs to be done? We'll see. This is still disturbing for most Americans, as we saw those 4 college students that were murdered a few years ago. Do y'all remember that? And without warning, the prosecutor made this plea deal with him, and he'll spend life in prison instead of facing the death penalty. The families feel cheated. I feel cheated. It's not right. Let's see what else is happening today. New laws taking place today, targeting gender identity across the United States, recognizing Gulf of America. That has to be done. That will be put it into Florida textbooks. You don't even think about that, of how many books that are out there that have Gulf of Mexico written in it on maps. All of this will start to be republished, reprinted, and new books bought. Something to think of there. And I think we got some laws that will be taking place in Mississippi we'll look at during the morning show today. At first, there was another way to say it other than an LGBT event that took place. Where was this? West Village in Manhattan. There was a 16-year-old girl that was attending it that was killed. At first, they thought it was from a stray thing. She was involved in the shooting, they're saying now. She had started something with someone, and then she was killed in the line of fire. More details on that as they dig deeper into that case. My, oh my. I mentioned dreams. I've never thought about this. I don't typically eat a lot before bed, but anybody like cheese out there? Now, I'm a sucker for the red rind cheese. You know, you open the refrigerator and you cut off a piece of that. You put some mayonnaise on it, some mustard, make just a sandwich out of that. Maybe melt it onto a cheese lovers. They're saying that this is linked to bad dreams. Y'all think about that. When was the last time you ate a piece of cheese before you went to bed and had a bad dream? They say it causes nightmares. Now, I'm no scientist. I can't tell you the breakdown of what would cause it, but that's what the scientists say this morning. Thought you might want to know that. Also, as you take to grocery store aisles, sometimes, well, to support your family, you have to make sacrifices, and they're doing that when it comes to cereal. Most Americans now are downsizing and using the store brands instead of your Frosted Flakes. They're using what we used to call the no-name brand to save money to make groceries and that paycheck go a little bit further. Nothing wrong with that. You got to take care of yours. We'll be right back with your forecast in just a moment. We got a big show lined up. We're going to tell you on the way what happened in Meridian at the police station yesterday. It's going to shock you. No, I'm not lying. Join us at 7 o'clock because we're going to get into this, and I'll remind you about this before we get off. You don't want to miss this morning's show as we detail what went on behind the scenes yesterday in Meridian. We'll be right back at the top of the hour, and we got your forecast next.
Hi, this is Nick at Doc's Toyota, and we are excited to put you in a new Toyota today. We have no dealer markup, no hidden fees, no hassle, and our inventory is always priced to move. Our top-notch sales department and first-class service after the sale guarantees you a fast and comfortable buying experience like you've never had. So come see why month after month, more and more customers have chose to buy from Doc's Toyota. So come see us here at Doc's Toyota in Philadelphia at docstoyota.com or on Facebook. And remember, there's no deal like a Doc's deal.
For over 40 years, you've been able to count on Watt Equipment in DeKalb, Mississippi. They've got your Massey Ferguson's brand new 23 up to 135 horse cab and air tractors. They've got all your hay equipment needs, all your bush hogs. If your tractor needs it, they got it. Also remember, they service all makes and models, whether it's green, orange, blue, red, or yellow. They can get your parts in, they can do your service on your equipment. Don't forget Watt Equipment, DeKalb, Mississippi.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA.
And welcome back. As we get into the forecast, I want to remind Greg, be careful. I saw a spider slide across the table, so be careful over there in case he jumps in your coffee. A little bitty thing.
I don't care.
You don't like spiders? I don't know where he come from, but be careful. Let's go to radar this morning. We do have a lot of fog as we go to Doc's Toyota. Look at this on radar that we're picking up all the way down to Quitman, Mississippi. We've got fog. It gets thicker as you get in Meridian and northward toward Philadelphia. Y'all look out there, Highway 16. As we get to about where Greg's place is, up by the Evangel Temple coming into Meridian, it gets thick all the way to the county line into Kemper County over to the Cowboy Church. And then it gets really thick here at Damascus in Kemper County, moving northward across Highway 16 to downtown Philadelphia. Look at that area there. If you're anywhere from West Point, take it in over to Macon, around Sugarlock and those areas back to Louisville, it's a lot of fog. Our worst that we've got is in between Philadelphia and DeKalb on Highway 16. Meridian downtown area has a lot as well, but that thick stuff is just north of us. That's a way to look at that. All right, let's get into our forecast this morning and see what it all has to offer as we welcome sunshine back once again as we go for our record highs and lows back in 77. It was 101 today. Back in 08, we were at a cool 57. As we move forward, nothing yet from Jackson on their daily forecast. We see that Bama calls for 90 in Demopolis, Montgomery, showers, and heavier rain toward the coast in Alabama. As we look at Tuscaloosa, 91, 89 in Birmingham, not bad at all. As we look at our forecast for the next 6 to 10 days, still warm, but not as warm as up that eastern coast. Let's look at what we've got here. Our 7-day outlook calls for 91 today. A smidgen of a chance of rain today. And look at the 4th of July. It is sunny, with a high of 94 for all the festivities that are going on. You'll have a great time. It's Friday night. You'll get to spend some time, stay up late, not have to worry about getting up. As we roll into Saturday, a little warmer, 96. By Sunday, we're at 94, and we'll remain into the 90s there, the mid-90s there, going into the work week with 30 and 40% chance of showers. By next Thursday, we'll have a 50% chance of rain. Highs leveling at about 90 all the way through July the 16th. Now, need I remind you that August is not all of that far off. What do we got with the fishing forecast as we go out to Clarkdale? It looks good today. A major time to fish today will be 6 o'clock this afternoon. Sunny, perfect. A mile time today from 12:30 until 1:30 if you've got to be out. Sunrise happened at 5:52. Sunset, it'll be daylight all the way through 8:05 this afternoon for great fishing. As we look at the tropics, we're still looking at this as we go to the National Hurricane Center. This could affect Florida over the 4th of July weekend, 40% chance. Nonetheless, they're going to get a lot of rain here through northern Florida. We'll look at that as it comes across there and goes back out to the Atlantic from the Gulf of America. That's the way the weather is this morning. Big show lined up. Don't forget to join us beginning at 7. A great show, lots to talk about on the way here at the Scotty Ray Report. We'll see you soon as we'll bring you the headlines throughout the area here at the Scotty Ray Report.